Beloved soul, before your thoughts react to the intensity of these words, pause for a moment and take a slow breath, because what you are feeling right now is not meant to create fear or pressure, it is meant to bring your full attention into a moment of understanding. When you read phrases like ultimate sacrifice, your mind may immediately imagine loss, something being taken away, or something serious happening if you look away, but true spiritual growth is not built on fear of losing connection, it is built on awareness, trust, and quiet strength. This message is not here to tell you that something will vanish from your life, it is here to show you that something within you is ready to change, and that change requires your attention. The idea of sacrifice here is not about giving up something valuable in a painful way, it is about releasing what no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. Every phase of growth requires letting go of something, not because you are losing it, but because you are outgrowing it. You may already feel this in your life. Certain habits no longer feel right. Certain environments no longer inspire you. Certain ways of thinking no longer match your awareness. That feeling is not confusion, it is transition. It is the sign that you are ready to move forward, and forward movement always asks for a shift. Archangel Michael's voice in this message represents strength and clarity, not fear or disappearance. The connection you have with your sense of direction, your awareness, and your inner strength does not vanish because of a single moment. It strengthens when you choose to listen, when you choose to stay present, and when you choose to act with clarity. The urgent tone is not about panic. It is about importance. It is about recognizing that you are at a point where your awareness is strong enough to guide you, and your decisions now carry more meaning because you understand more than before. You may begin to realize that there are things you have been holding on to simply because they were familiar, not because they still serve you. Letting go of those things can feel like a sacrifice at first, but in reality, it is space being created for something better. Growth often feels like loss in the beginning, but over time it reveals itself as alignment. You are not losing something valuable, you are making room for something that matches your current level of awareness and strength. The instruction to open this message now is not about rushing into action, it is about opening your awareness in this moment. Pay attention to what you already know. Notice the areas in your life where you feel ready for change. Observe the thoughts that keep returning to you. These are not random. They are signals. They are guiding you toward the next step. When you allow yourself to see clearly, the path becomes simpler. As you sit with this message, notice how calm begins to replace the initial intensity. That calm is your confirmation. You are not being pressured into something uncertain. You are being guided towards something that aligns with your growth. The sacrifice mentioned here is not about losing something important, it is about letting go of what is no longer necessary so that you can move forward with clarity and strength. Beloved soul, as you continue with this message, you may begin to feel that what first sounded intense is now becoming something much deeper and more meaningful, because the idea of ultimate sacrifice is not about losing something important, it is about recognizing what you have outgrown and having the strength to release it with clarity. There are moments in life when you can feel that you are no longer the same person you used to be. Your thoughts are different. Your priorities have shifted. The things that once excited you may no longer feel the same, and the things that once felt acceptable may now feel limiting. This is not confusion. This is evolution. And every evolution asks for a form of release. You may have noticed that you are holding on to certain patterns, not because they still serve you, but because they are familiar. Familiarity creates comfort, even when it no longer aligns with your growth. This is where the idea of sacrifice becomes real. It is not about forcing yourself to give something up, it is about realizing that holding on to it is no longer necessary. When you reach that understanding, letting go does not feel like loss, it feels like relief. It feels like making space for something that matches the person you are becoming. The message speaks in a strong tone because your awareness has reached a point where you can no longer ignore these signals. There are thoughts that keep returning to you, ideas that feel important, decisions that you have been delaying. These are not random. They are indicators that you are ready to move forward. The urgency is not about pressure, it is about timing. It is about recognizing that you have reached a stage where waiting is no longer helping you grow. You have already learned what you needed to learn from your current situation. Now growth requires movement. Archangel Michael's presence here represents strength in making that movement. It is the reminder that you are capable of handling change. You are not fragile. You are not unprepared. You have built awareness, discipline, and understanding through your experiences. That is why this moment feels different. You are not being asked to take a step blindly. You are being guided to take a step that you already understand. The path is not hidden. It has been forming in your mind for some time now. At the same time, it is important to approach this transition with calm clarity rather than emotional reaction. Sacrifice does not mean acting impulsively. It means choosing consciously. It means understanding what you are leaving behind and why. When you make that decision with awareness, it becomes stronger. You do not look back with regret. You move forward with confidence. That is the difference between forced change and aligned change. You may also begin to notice that as you consider letting go, there is a sense of lightness that follows. Even thinking about moving forward creates a feeling of relief. That feeling is important. It is your confirmation that the direction you are considering aligns with your growth. When something aligns, it does not create confusion, it creates clarity. It may still feel challenging, but it feels right. As this part settles within you, recognize that you are not losing anything that truly belongs to your future. You are releasing what has completed its purpose in your life. Every experience, every phase, every situation has taught you something. Nothing was wasted. But growth means continuing forward, not staying where you have already learned what you needed to learn. Stay present with yourself. Notice what you are ready to release. Trust the awareness you have developed. The shift you are experiencing is not accidental. It is the natural result of your growth reaching a point where holding on is no longer necessary, and moving forward becomes the next step. Beloved soul, as you move deeper into this message, you may begin to notice that what once felt like a difficult idea is now becoming a quiet realization, because the concept of sacrifice is no longer about losing something, it is about understanding that you have reached a point where holding on no longer supports your growth. There are phases in life where staying feels easier than moving, even when you know deep down that you have outgrown where you are. That feeling is not weakness, it is awareness. It is the moment where your inner self begins to guide you towards something more aligned, something that reflects the person you are becoming rather than the person you used to be. You may have already felt this in small ways. A shift in how you think, a change in what you value, a growing distance from things that once felt important. These changes do not happen suddenly, they build over time. At first, they are subtle, easy to ignore. But eventually, they become clear enough that you can no longer pretend everything is the same. That is where you are now. You are no longer unaware. You can see the difference between what aligns with you and what does not. And once you see that clearly, staying the same becomes more difficult than moving forward. The idea of an ultimate sacrifice begins to make more sense here. It is not about giving up something meaningful in a painful way, it is about choosing your growth over your comfort. Comfort often comes from familiarity, from what you already know, even if it no longer supports you. Growth, on the other hand, requires stepping into something new, something uncertain, something that challenges you to become more. This choice is not easy, but it is necessary. And the fact that you are even considering it shows that you are ready. You may also notice that your perspective on what you are leaving behind is changing. What once felt valuable may now feel limiting. What once felt necessary may now feel optional. This is not because those things have no value, but because their role in your life has been completed. They served their purpose. They taught you what you needed to learn. But growth does not mean holding on to every past experience. It means carrying the lessons forward and leaving the rest behind. At the same time, there is a growing sense of confidence within you, even if it is quiet. You are beginning to trust your own awareness. You are recognizing that you do not need constant reassurance to make decisions. You understand that you have the ability to handle change, to adapt, and to continue moving forward even if everything is not perfectly clear. This confidence is what allows you to make the kind of decision that leads to real progress. The presence of Archangel Michael in this message represents that strength within you. It is not an external force demanding something from you, it is a reflection of your own ability to stand firm in your decisions, to protect your direction, and to move forward with clarity. You are not being asked to sacrifice blindly. You are being guided to release what no longer aligns so that you can step into what does. As you sit with this part of the message, notice how the idea of letting go begins to feel less like loss and more like alignment. You are not losing something important, you are making space for something that matches your current level of growth. This shift in perspective is powerful because it changes how you approach change. Instead of resisting it, you begin to accept it. Stay grounded in this awareness. Trust what you are feeling. The decision in front of you is not something you need to fear. It is something you are ready for. And as you continue to move forward with that understanding, you will begin to see that what once felt like a sacrifice is actually the step that allows your life to align more fully with who you have become. Beloved soul, as this message reaches its final depth, everything that once felt intense now becomes calm, clear, and deeply grounded, because what you are truly experiencing is not pressure, it is alignment completing itself within you. The idea of sacrifice is no longer something that feels heavy or difficult, it is becoming something that feels natural, something that feels like the next step rather than a forced decision. You are beginning to understand that growth always requires a release, not because you are losing something valuable, but because you are making space for something that matches who you have become. There is a sense of completion here, not of your journey, but of a chapter within it. You have already learned what you needed to learn from your current situation. You have already gained the awareness, the strength, and the clarity that this phase was meant to give you. The habits, the patterns, the environments, or even the mindset that once supported you are no longer aligned with your current level of growth. This does not make them wrong, it simply means their purpose in your life has been fulfilled. And when something has fulfilled its purpose, holding on to it only creates resistance. You may now feel a quiet certainty within yourself. It is not loud, it is not overwhelming, but it is steady. It is the feeling that you already know what needs to change. You already know what you are ready to release. You already know what direction feels right for you. This clarity did not appear suddenly. It was built through your experiences, through your challenges, through the moments where you had to reflect and understand yourself more deeply. Now that clarity is strong enough to guide you without confusion. The phrase, ultimate sacrifice, now reveals its true meaning. It is not about giving up something meaningful in a painful way, it is about choosing your growth fully, without hesitation. It is about trusting that what you are moving toward is more aligned with you than what you are leaving behind. This kind of decision requires courage, but it also brings freedom. When you release what no longer fits, you remove the weight that has been holding you back. You create space for new opportunities, new perspectives, and new experiences that reflect your current awareness. You may also notice how calm you feel now compared to the beginning of this message. That calm is your confirmation. It means you are no longer reacting to intensity, you are understanding with clarity. When you act from this place, your decisions become stronger and more stable. You are not choosing out of fear, you are choosing out of alignment. And when your choices come from alignment, your path begins to shift naturally in a way that supports your growth. As you move forward from this point, remember that you do not need to rush or force anything. True change happens when you are clear, not when you are pressured. Trust your awareness. Trust the process that has brought you here. You are not being asked to sacrifice something important, you are being guided to release what has already completed its role in your life so that you can step into what is next with confidence. As this message closes, let it leave you with a sense of calm strength. You are not losing anything that belongs to your future. You are stepping into a version of your life that matches who you have become. And the decision you make now will not come from pressure, it will come from understanding, and that is what will shape your path in a meaningful and lasting way. Comment, I let go and grow, if this resonates. Like and subscribe for more messages like this.